Welcome to the Car Guy Show. Join award-winning magazine publisher Tim Miller and national champion race driver Kristin Treager as they look at Texas car life and Texas car culture. Join them as they meet car guys in their cars, in their garages, and at their clubs and events. Come along for a real kick in the asphalt.
Welcome to the Car Guys Show. I'm your host, Tim Miller, and today I'm at Lincoln Tech in Grand Prairie meeting some of tomorrow's automotive technicians. On this episode, we sit down again with a racing legend and we meet a first-time drag racer. Dennis Collins shares with us another roadster from his collection named Goldie, and Kristin tears up some back roads in a new Audi. We sort through some private jets and exotic cars at Wings and Wheels in Addison. Join me, Kristin, and Luke as we check out the wheels and the wings.
We're at Millionaire Dallas for Wings and Wheels 2014.
They have cars, they have jets, scrumptious food, and champagne, of course.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go check out the cars.
And I'm gonna check out the jets.
All right, see ya.
Yeah. Hey everyone, we are on the coolest private jet, I think, probably in the country right now, much less the world. And we are with Amy. She works with Millionaire Dallas and can tell us a little bit about this jet.
This is a G650, brand new to our fleet. Seats 13, nautical range of 7,000 miles, can take you all over the world, keep you connected at all times. This aircraft is great for business or pleasure. You know, a lot of times we have to get someone to a meeting well rested right away, or it's great for, you know, that family that's going to go on vacation to Greece, well rested also. So for a long range flight, you know, something that can go 12 to 15 hours, you can imagine people sometimes have up to 3 meal services. So I've got my coffee pots, a microwave, a full oven.
How big is it?
Your full size, kind of what you would have at home.
Little hot pockets in there. Oh my god.
You've got a full oven.
You could live on this thing. I mean, you could live on here.
This is the lab. Here. The G650 actually has 2, one up front. We also have a forward crew rest area, and then this is kind of the main lab that the passengers would use. Okay. Something interesting to the G650 is this actually has an odorless toilet.
And what does that mean?
So there's actually a fan section that when you open the lid, it is suctioned out immediately. Right.
That is a very, very important feature of the G650.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't think you'll find that on many other aircraft.
No. All right, so let's get out of this lavatory area and let's go to all the way to the front of the plane and check out the cockpit. You know, for some of our viewers who kind of know a little bit about private jets or Gulfstreams, you know, they have the different models, you know, the 2, the 3, the 450, you know, the 5. And so the ones that you've flown, how does this differ, the 650?
Okay, the 650 is the latest, greatest technology. They've made improvements on all the systems, and so they've got years, 50 years of background to improve on. And so it's the biggest, the fastest, the nicest of the Gulfstreams. It's Gulfstream's first airplane to fly by wire. Gulfstreams have always been known as not real responsive. Now this is fly-by-wire, and it's very sensitive, and it's got a good roll rate, and now it's a fingertip airplane roll. It's got heads-up display. It allows us to focus out of the airplane instead of looking down at the instruments, and we can pretty much see everything we need right through the heads-up display. So we don't have to take our eyes off of where we're going.
Well, thanks a lot, Michael. That was, it's so cool. I mean, this plane is unbelievable in the cockpit. So we're gonna get out of here and go check out the hangar. There's a ton of cool cars in there, so we'll meet you over there.
We're at the Wings and Wheels event, and I have Dallas with me in this gorgeous red SLS Mercedes AMG. Can you tell me about this beautiful car?
Well, it's one that they started making back in 55, 56, and those are all going for $1 million and so, but there was a safety issue on the doors because they were having trouble getting them open.
Right.
So they stopped manufacturing them, and they didn't start again until 2011, and that's what this is.
Well, it is a beautiful car. How fast have you gone in this?
Well, I've had it up to 110, but it could go 180.
My kind of speed.
Yeah.
I thought you were a Porsche girl. What are you doing in a Lamborghini?
I couldn't resist.
What's up?
Hey guys, we're here at Wings and Wheels with Steve Hill, who has this awesome Aventador. Can you tell me about this car?
Well, it's white.
That I see.
Right, and it's pretty cool. I would say that it doesn't just look good, but it actually drives really well for a car that is made by an Italian automaker. And I am a Porsche guy myself. I love Porsches. There's no substitute. This is a fantastic sports car, and it drives like a prototype race car. I would wonder what Audi prototype it might feel like, but it kind of drives like a car that is built for racing, but it has street car weight, rubber bushings, and all the comforts of a street car into a package that is pretty unbelievable for the street.
I like the sound of that. Okay, I have to know, how fast have you gone in it?
I don't really look at the speedo, but
typical driver response.
Yeah, probably 185, 190. I mean, the car does it 217.
Respectable, yeah.
Supposedly, but where do you drive 217 around here?
Right.
Without DPS being upset a little bit, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks so much for having us look at your car.
My pleasure.
It is fantastic.
Kristin.
Oh, what a hard day's work, but that's it for Wings and Wheels 2014. What do you think, Kristin?
Oh man, I am so exhausted, but thanks for joining us at Millionaire Dallas.
When we come back, we meet up for a second time, a drag racing legend, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Up at Hallet Raceway, our cameraman David Mehl cornered Eddie Hill and his wife Ercie in their motor coach. Check out his extraordinary racing experiences as we meet up with him a second time.
My first trophy was when I was 13 years old, and I had a Cushman motor scooter, and I put it in my dad's horse trailer. A buddy of mine and I each loaded our Cushman scooters up and drove all the way from Longview, Texas over to Shreveport, Louisiana for the big Tri-State Motor Scooter Flat Track Championship. And I won a little trophy about this tall. It was just barely big enough to write that name on it and my name. That was in 1949. And then we went into unblown gas dragsters. I built a little dragster in my mom's little three-sided shed there in Longview, a dirt floor, three sides. I put an Oldsmobile V8 engine and a pair of Ford Model T frame rails, drove it about 50 miles to Karnak, Texas, won my first race, the fastest guy there, kind of set the hook, and then we went on to run the world's biggest improvement in the NHRA national record when we dropped it from 9:40 elapsed time all the way down to 8.84 seconds elapsed time. That was with the unblown gas Pontiac. That was back in the 50s, late 50s.
That's the 1850s or the 1950s?
That was in the 1950s.
Okay.
And then the so we were first in the 8s on gas, and then the first gas over 200 mile an hour. One of the very first cars over 200 fuel or gas, and that was pretty cool. And then we progressed to front motor fuel dragsters. Had a bad fire down at Green Valley where the fireball engulfed me, and I locked the tires up and slid to a stop, and scared me so bad I said I don't want any more front motor cars. So I got out of Top Fuel drag racing and started racing motorcycles and selling motorcycles there in Wichita Falls at Eddie Hill Spun Cycles. So we're approaching 50 years at that business there now. And now we're doing aerial atoms like we're doing today and last weekend.
Having fun, lots of fun.
Having a lot of fun and don't have to work. The aerial atoms are among the fastest cars at the track, and in fact I just finished ahead of 3 real race cars in this last heat. There were 3 race cars ahead of me in the open wheel race car class, but there are also 3 behind me. So to do that with a streetable car with a license plate on it and 2 seats and DOT tires against the little single seat race cars that have the ground effects tunnels, you know, and race tires and all like that, is a fun deal. And mainly I don't have to work on it, so that's a lot of fun. If I was going to give some advice to a young person just starting out, a life lesson and maybe a vocation lesson too, is I'd like to pass on the word that my daddy passed on to me a long, long time ago. And he said, son, you need to make your life's work something that you really, really enjoy. Because if you don't really enjoy what you're doing, you're probably never going to be very good at it. And I've managed to do what I really enjoy the most basically all my life. And I've just been blessed enough, fortunate enough to make a living at it while I'm having a good time. And to me, it's been more like 78 years of play with a little work thrown in along the way.
Very little work.
Very little work.
From a drag racing legend of over 60 years, we head to the Texas Motorplex to meet up with a newbie drag racer. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Texas Motorplex wants to take teens off the streets and put them on the track. Fast Fridays gives them that opportunity to burn rubber on the quarter-mile drag strip. We watch as 17-year-old Tyler Ellington takes his first run down the strip.
I drive a 1997 Ford Mustang GT. It's fully stock, it has a new motor, and I have exhaust under it, that's it. I never have raced on a drag strip. I'm a little nervous, but I'm ready to go.
This is a 2012 CLS AMG 63. It's a 5.5 liter bi-turbo. Just had it a couple weeks. A friend of mine comes down here all the time, so I hopped in after work, and I get tired of driving up and down the tollway at the speed limit, so I thought I'd come here and see what it could do. Supposedly they say it'll do like, you know, under 13, like 3.6, 0-60, but that's my first time here, so if I break 15, I'll be excited.
what did you think of the entire experience overall first?
It was fun. It's definitely a new experience, and it was unexpected, but in a good way.
What made you decide to come out here and try drag racing in the first place?
So I can race like legally and run my car finally.
How fast did you get on that second pass?
90.
Is that the fastest you've ever been in a vehicle?
No.
No? When have you gone faster? Anytime we have Fast Friday, bracket racing, we have a street class, and NHRA has just unveiled a new class for teenagers. So any teenager 13 to 16 can actually start racing in a big cart if they have a parent with them. Anytime we have the Fast Friday Ultimate Street Nights bracket racing, we always have a street class. And to me, that's the most important thing, because young people, first of all, keep any sport alive, and any major professional sport will tell you the same thing. But this also, I think, teaches especially younger, more vulnerable drivers to going high speeds, puts them in a more contained, safer environment, but it forces them to focus, and it forces them to think about the car, think about how they handle the car. And you learn more about your vehicle, you learn more about driving. And to me, it's a safer environment than going 90-something miles an hour on an open highway in which I drive very safely, and I don't want you passing me dangerously. So I think the high school, we would love to we encourage as many high schoolers to come out as possible. We have a high school class, and we have an ET bracket finals at the end of the season, and we take the top tier high school racers who compete all season, and we put them at the ET finals. There's big money on the line, there's some college money on the line, and we just hope everybody has a good time. But it's always a little bit safer than the highway. Plus, we give you trophies. We actually reward you for racing fast at the drag strip. And I don't think the law enforcement officials would reward you for going that fast on the highway.
No.
I'm glad we agree on that.
At Cars and Coffee, we run into Dennis Collins again, and he has along with him one of his favorite cars from his collection, Goldie, the $1 Million Roadster. Come with me, let's check it out.
This car is known as Goldie, and to the people that are in the Healy world, they know exactly what it is. This was the 1958 Earls Court show car. Earls Court in Europe is kind of like our Detroit or New York Auto Show. It is the most significant auto show every year in Europe.
How did you find it?
I've bought and sold Austin Healys for almost 30 years. I've owned almost 400 big Healys. I chased this car for almost 25 years. I've every 6 months tried to buy it. People finally retired. It was they were known as the Healy surgeons. Bruce and Enid Phillips, very famous Healy people up in the Northeast, had it. Said they would never ever sell it, but if they ever did, they'd sell it to me, and I finally got it.
Now, when you got the car, did you have to do anything to it?
This car was restored and shown in the early 80s, 81 to 85 era. When we got it, we took the car, blew it completely apart, even though it was the show car, and redid everything. As far as freshening everything, every nut bolt cleaned. It was mainly a massive detail, if you will, because to get it back to show standards, even though the car had only been used as a show car, to get it back to a concours level, we spent several hundred hours on it. And we did one in the Concours of Texas last year.
Was that your first showing of the car?
First and only showing since I've owned it. I've had it for about 10 years. I don't have time to show my cars, but that's why I'm here today. We're showing two of them today. You see the motor in this car. Now this is a 106, so this was before they called them the 3000. This is when they went from the 104 to the 6-cylinder motor. So this is your first big Healy series with a 6 in it. And this is how it left the factory. Most of them had painted valve covers since this was a show car. They polished the dash pods, chrome plated this. There's just a lot of small things on this show car that you won't see in other cars.
So as a show car, when this first came out, did it travel, where else did it travel? for the manufacturer.
Well, here's the other big draw on this car. It was one of the first times they'd ever done this at the Earls Court. This car was given away. So not only did that draw a record number of people to the show that year, the company that sponsored this, which was the local London newspaper, it was one of their highest rate of returns on newspaper sales. So this car was actually given away back then in 1958 and then sold to a movie star in Switzerland, and it stayed in Switzerland up until the early 80s when it came back to the US and was restored. And I have all this history documented.
Do you have the actual newspaper?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Do you have it here with you?
I didn't bring it with me, but I do have the actual newspaper. I've got the actual original registration, the original gold key. I've got everything.
Oh, that's great. When we come back, Kristin Treager tears up the back roads of North Texas with a new Audi RS5 in red, no less. So don't touch that remote, because we'll be right back. Our Porsche race car driver, Kristin, was excited to take out the new 2014 Audi RS5 for a drive. We ride along as she pushes the limits on this impressive daily driver. So hang on and prepare to shout a good Texas yeehaw!
Kristin Treager here with the Car Guy Show. Today I'm giving a driving impression of this beauty, the Audi RS5. First, let's take a look at the power plant. The Audi RS5 sports a 4.2-liter V8 motor, which boasts 450 horsepower, the same engine that's in the Audi R8. And I don't know about you, but that is pretty impressive for a passenger vehicle. Audi gives you the option of upgrading your brake package to a $6,000 upgrade, which gives you the ceramic brake package. And for a car that you can take on the track, that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. The great thing about this car is that you can change the driving selection literally with a turn of a knob. So we've got comfort, auto, dynamic, individual, where you can customize it to your liking. Of course, I'm going to choose dynamic. I'm a race car driver. And with dynamic selected, we can use our paddle shifters, and it even features an auto blipper. Great for the racetrack. You don't have to worry about blipping the throttle before downshifting. It does it for you. As with the entire Audi collection, this interior is simply beautiful. This car features the carbon fiber inlay, and the interior is sleek and stealthy, just what you want in a sporty type of car. All right, enough about the interior. I am ready to take this thing for a test drive. Well, that was a really fun test drive. This thing can move. Let me tell you, the paddle shifting is right on command. It lets you downshift when you want to, and the automatic blipper is perfection. This is the perfect car to take from the boardroom right to the racetrack.
That's it for today's show. Thanks for watching. Check out our past episodes on our website, www.thecarguyshow.com, and on our YouTube channel. Please like us on Facebook and tell your friends to watch us for a weekly kick in the asphalt. See you next time.